places.
Me too.
Seemed like maybe there was, we were on the edge there for a second. Okay, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Let's just fly in tight formation until we're totally in sync.
Feel the bond with your lions and your fellow pilots until 5 become one unit and you form Voltron.
No way, I don't want nobody living with me.
The morning stream. The morning stream.
It's Harley and me and you in the tree. This is the morning stream.
The morning stream. The morning stream.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to TMS, the morning stream for Wednesday, March 3rd. It's the 3rd.
It is 3-3-2-1.
Oh my gosh.
Make something out of that, numbers man.
Hold on. 3, 3, 2, 1. Count. It's like a countdown, but not quite because there's 2 threes.
It's like a stuttering countdown, like our T-T-M. It's 3, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, the 3 is hesitating. It doesn't know for sure that it wants to go.
3.
Now, you might be saying to yourselves, hey, Scott, there was also the 2nd, and there was no show that day. Well, you'd be right. So, kind of last minute, but we finally got our, oh my gosh, banks. I could go off for the whole show about why banks are terrible and why they're hard to work with and all that. I would just say this. I think I talked about it a little bit on the show before. But if you're trying to do a pretty simple refinancing of your home to get better rates, because right now interest rates are ridiculously low, so it's a good time to do that if you have a high rate currently, or even a couple of points higher. And so we decided to do it. And as I've talked about before, we're extremely efficient with that sort of stuff. Like we try to pay more on principal when we can. And we try to not hold any big debts, and the only debts we have are ones you can't help but have, like mortgage and that sort of thing. But we try to not have car debt very long if we can help it. We don't have credit card debt, all that stuff. So we have this really pristine, beautiful credit record thing, credit rating. That's the word I'm looking for. And and it's nice because usually when anything has to happen that needs a credit check, they're like, "Oh, great, you're in, you're good. Don't worry, you're all set." These guys got so freaking hung up on the idea that all of this was so pristine and no funny business, full tax disclosures. Like it was too clean.
There has to be some sort of Achilles heel or
yeah. Well, they were mainly sure that there's no way it would be possible for there to be no shenanigans if I am also this self-employed guy with a really weird-looking resume. Like, you look at what I do, and they're like, what even is this? Like, podcaster, artist, combo, this,
sounds
that.
made up, yet how come you're out of debt?
Yeah, how come you don't have any debts? Like, that was really hanging them up. We're unicorns to them. And I was telling Brian over text, I go, I think they think we're unicorns. And
I replied back, I said, I think you're a unicorn, too. You're the only person I know in my life who is able to do this. So
I don't know how we did it. We're just way overly fiscally conservative in this house, I guess. But the bottom line is, they finally went, all right, you're good. Come on in, and we'll do the thing. So we went in, and our signing agent is an ex-semi-pro farm league baseball player. So that was fun. Does nothing apropos of nothing. Wow. He's just there. But
AAA team.
Yeah. He's just a cool dude. It was just cool to have somebody with some cool story to tell. Anyway, so we went in there, we signed it, we're done. But that happened right when TMS was supposed to happen. It was all effed up yesterday because we were supposed to start late anyway because I had a doctor's appointment. By the way, that was a good follow-up. All my numbers are good. Positive reviews from the doctor yesterday. So that was great.
A+. Great buyer would buy from again.
Would buy from again, exactly. Would draw blood from again. So that went really well, but that went long. I think I didn't even get back till 9:15 or something. Or 9:30. No, it was closer to 10 now that I think about it, because I was there for almost. Well, anyway, the bottom line was we were going to have to
around and go to the bank.
Yeah, and we were supposed to go. TMS will start a half hour late. That was me and Brian's original plan. We were just going to start late. And then the bank calls, we got a slot, but you got to get in here. And there was just like no time. We had to sandwich everything together. And I was like, I guess we're not having a show today. So goodbye, TMS listeners. We apologize. But it all worked out. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. Everything is fine now, and I don't have to think about it anymore. I have a dentist appointment, but that's tomorrow at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Big deal. It's not gonna. I don't like
deal with that.
futzing, but I don't like futzing with TMS. Is what I'm saying. I don't like it.
I don't either. Yeah, I've got a dentist appointment later on this month that I'm just so looking forward to.
Well, I know how much you love it when they touch your little nerves in there. You like that.
They find them. It's
Yeah.
like they have a roadmap. Actually, I think maybe I've said this, but the dentist has a great map display on his computer screen next to him that I think probably has little circles and slashes or skull and crossbones or stop signs on the places where I have the exposed nerves. And so it's like they're great now about not touching it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing I did notice. Okay, so everyone's like super uber masked up at this signing, and
Of course.
all the precautions and the stuff. They were making it real clear that if anyone walked in that place, that we're very careful. They're all this stuff. But
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. The title company, everyone's dressed like it's a Tuesday, but everyone's dressed like it's Casual Friday in there. I thought,
Yeah, I think that's
is that
yeah.
a thing? Is that just people have given up in the workplace? They're just whatever.
I think so. I think you always advance it past your home work from home setup, right? So
Yeah.
you say, okay, the bar that I set is how I dress when I work from home,
Right.
which now has lowered to maybe sweatpants. That's in case you think you might have to get up during the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And
so then
so
what do
now
you-
just
yeah.
above that is jeans, untucked t-shirt, maybe a polo that's half the collar's up or whatever.
So the whole thing has shifted one step back, is what you're saying.
That's right. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So like a
Everything's
formal-
moved down a level.
A
right?
formal dinner will now be not tuxes and fancy dresses. It'll be like a suit jacket and a nice pair of jeans and decent
Yep.
boots, and you just kind of keep moving down from there. So naked will be you peeling your own skin off, like some sort of.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
the only thing below naked.
Yeah.
Is,
What's under naked? Oh, I read. That's
is
funny you
that
say that. I
scene from
read a whole.
Poltergeist with the-
I read the
guys eating
entirety of
chicken.
the. What's it called? The little Pandora's box and Pinhead and everything. Hell
yeah.
Hell
right.
Razor, not
Oh,
Blade.
Razor. Mhm.
There's a whole comic series of comics on the Warner Brothers owns it, so it's over there on the DC app. Anyway, I
Gotcha.
just decided one night, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to binge all these Hellraiser comics, and I did. And let's just say
And?
there's a lot of people peeling their skin off, is what I was getting at.
Is it prequel?
No.
Sequel? What is it? in relation to the
Sequel, I
movies?
think, because the girl in the first movie who survives is
Mm-hmm.
the protagonist, sort of. But also, you spend a lot of time with Pinhead. But Pinhead figures out a way to come, and maybe they do this in future movies. I've never seen any of them, so I can't say. But he figures out a way to become human again, and then everyone thinks it's just to escape the hell he's in. But really, he's going to turn on everybody and like be more powerful because now he's both human and demon or whatever. And the vagina neck lady, she's involved. Who else? The weird lumpy dude with the glasses, he's in there.
Yep.
So it's definitely all from that. I was just in the mood for a good horror comic, and I'm not going to say it was good, but it was fun, pulpy, stupid, and a lot of people with their skin off is what I'm getting at. That was really the point. Hey, check this out, Brian. I just want to make a quick recommendation to people, gamers in particular. Many of you last year probably played what was pretty universally considered Game of the Year by just about every outlet and person and influencer or whoever. The game was Hades, which came out on Switch and PC platforms. Started on PC, came out on Switch later. Anyway, an amazing game. It's an incredible game, but I cannot recommend enough. I don't know why it took me this long to check it out, but there is a multi-part, I want to say 6-part or so, documentary series on the making of that game, which covers a whole bunch of stuff from early access when they first went up on the Epic Store during 2019, non-pandemic time, right? And then all the work that went into it from there forward, and then they hit the pandemic and what that did to change things, and they're trying to get it launched on Steam and then later on Switch, and then hitting 1.0, and then like winning all these awards at the Game Awards and all this stuff. It was one of the most fascinating, interesting documentaries ever. It's the No Clip guys. They make game documentaries. That's what they do. And if you go over to youtube.com/noclip, you'll find them. and I was riveted by this. It was so freaking good, and you just really got a behind the scenes, under the covers sort of look at game development, how what challenges there are, what a small team does to address those challenges, and it's just great. So if you have any interest in that, I would highly recommend watching that series. I loved every second of it, and it's just free. It's on YouTube. Just go watch it. Those guys do a great job. Okay.
Very cool.
Also, I took a COVID test. I forgot to tell everybody this.
Oh, that's right. We obviously talked about it on Film Sack and Twitter and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
other places, but I guess I forgot to bring it up Monday on here. But I had that cold, and we were supposed to do that signing. Long story why it got delayed. Well, I've already told you the bank's weird. But as a result, we're like, well, we should get tested. All three of us have cold symptoms, but it's probably just a cold, but we want to be sure. And if we're going into a building or anywhere near other people, like, blah, blah, blah. So we went, got tested. And I was worried they were going to jam the unit up your nose. That was my worry. But instead, the lady at the hospital says, oh, no, we do the spit test. Here's the vial, and here's all the info on how you do it, and blah, 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 blah. What they don't tell you, because I'm thinking, yeah, we dodged a bullet. No thing up my nose.
Right.
It's my first test, and Kim's second, and Carter's third, I think. And so I was pretty excited. But then you go park in the parking lot, because it's all a drive-through process. And for the life of me, I have no spit. There's no spit.
Oh no, you can't generate. Can't generate spit.
It was taking me so long. I was just sitting there going, oh, "Okay, where is it? Normally it's here. What's going on? Somebody describe a hamburger or something. I need a mouth-watering experience here. I could not freaking conjure up enough freaking spit.
Really? Oh no.
And I ended up in the long run getting it, but it took me probably 15 minutes longer than Kim or Carter. It just took me forever to do it. And you're also not supposed to drink or eat anything 30 minutes before the test, which means, I don't even have water in my system or anything in the morning. It was in the morning.
Right.
Anyway, worked out, got it in there. It's disgusting. It's a horrible freaking thing to watch. You take it up, you give it to the lady. Just me pushing, just going, hoping my, little salivary glands pop or whatever.
They need to just show you like pictures of Oreos and kimchi and get a Pavlovian response.
That's what I'm saying. Describe a pizza, whatever, doesn't matter. So I get up there, we give her the vial. Nurse Ratched takes it and says, "We'll see you in 24 hours." So in about 24 hours, they told us we were negative. So that was a fun experience to go from test to negative.
Good.
And still, despite the fact, okay, look, I will take it over the jam the thing in my brain, but none of this is fun. No one likes any of this.
No.
None of this is good. Nobody likes this. And then talking to my doctor yesterday, I said, "So have you had much in the way of like patients who, are coming in with some of those long-term effects and stuff?" She goes, "That's almost my whole list." I go, "Really?" She goes, "All of my patients are people who are having weird long-term effects, whether it be like suddenly your kidneys are shutting down, or one guy had a minor stroke and now she's sort of rehabbing with him, and what was the other one? I can't remember, but all these weird
strokes are kind of common in post-COVID.
Yeah, there's like COVID extended like weird thing and some of them just have horrible symptoms for months instead of days or whatever, long after they're infected. So it's just like gnarly stories. I'm like, well, I don't want to get that. She goes, keep in mind, that's still less. It's still the minority of cases that get the long term, but this is more than any other thing we treat, more than any other viral thing that we treat.
Whatever, Scott. It's a hoax. It's no worse than the flu. Open everything up 100%. No masks.
Yeah, Texas. Woo!
We're done.
Justin, I hope you love Texas. They just opened up, baby. You're good to go.
How quickly can I put my house back on the market?
I need to unfriend my housing purchase.
Unfriend my realtor.
Anyway, it's all real dumb. And what are you going to do? Brian, I understand you finally cracked open Gloomhaven. Tell me about that.
Finally, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which you and I both raced around and got. I think the end of last year, around Black Friday or after
so.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
When
it's a Dan thing,
it got
right? He was
released.
like, "Hey, go to Target now, and you'll get the deal on it, or whatever."
Exactly, and that's exactly what we did. We got our copies. You punched your stuff out and separated it into little baggies that they give you.
Yep, and still
And
haven't
got
played
all ready. I'm here to say I've even gone one step further, Scott.
Yeah.
Me and Tina and the Moors, Nikki and Clark, finally played Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. We did the first 3 campaigns, and this is so Tina was dreading this, right? Like she sees the fact that this thing comes with 5 manuals, five books, a zillion little pop-out pieces that all look different and different things to keep track of, and she ended up having such a good time.
Oh, good. That's really good to hear that. Because I would also worry for anyone who isn't into like the mega rules, tons of pieces, keeping track of everything kind of games. If that's not their jam, this seems like another one of those. But Dan kept telling us, he's like, well, no, the whole idea of this one is to get away from that complicated mess and be a little bit easier to get into and just play it
a little
and go.
bit. Yeah, I mean, basically, unlike I guess the first or the big hunk in Gloomhaven game, which I can see right there, it's one leg of a table in the other part of the room.
Yeah.
Is I think it has one campaign that is a tutorial campaign. This one's got 3 or 4 campaigns, and so really, if you so let me back up to explain what Gloomhaven is for people who may not know. So Gloomhaven is a tabletop game, kind of in the vein of Dungeons and Dragons. You're a group of adventurers, different classes, 4 different classes that are coming into the town of Gloomhaven, figuring out what's going on there, stopping wicked vermlings or whatever they are. And as opposed to Dungeons and Dragons, where you're just saying, I'll use my broadsword and I'll attack the closest vermling.
Yeah.
In this game, you've got a set of cards in your hand, and you play cards to do certain actions. And so once you've played a card, that card is out of your hand until you're out of cards and you pick them back up and use them again. So it kind of forces you to say, oh, okay, so I need to move 4 spaces, so I'll play this card, and I need to attack, so I'll play this card. And those cards then are out of play after that turn. You've got other cards that let you attack and other cards that let you move, but different distances and attack levels and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's really, really fun. And by the end of it, Tina's like, okay, I like this. This is good. It's kind of like you realize how little of the box you need for those first campaigns. It's like a quarter of the box, really, for the first part of it. And then there's still pieces of the box that we haven't even been able to open yet, right? There's little boxes that say, don't open this until we tell you to. So
yeah, there's loot stuff in there, which is cool.
Like a lot of Christmassy stuff that we can't even touch.
Yeah, it's a lot of replayability too. There's a PC version of Gloomhaven in the works.
No, there's no replayability.
Oh, really?
Basically,
I thought the whole idea is you could do multiple campaigns and never get tired of it and just keep going.
You mark up a map as you continue through. So I mean, technically, if you decide not to mark up the map, there's definite replayability. But I think this is kind of like Pandemic Legacy, where you modify the game as you go through it. You take off, you can do removable stickers, sure, but I mean, you can. So I guess in that respect, you can get multiple playthroughs. I don't see ever going through this again. After we finish this, I'll probably pass on the box to somebody else, say, just mark the stickers with another color or something to show what you've done.
Sure.
And moving on to the 23-pound Gloomhaven box.
Yeah, or the video game that's in early access, but it's coming along. It's nice.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're sticking to those rules, and it's looking good. I mean, it's probably still a ways off from release, but I really like what they're doing in there. It looks great. Excellent. Well, very nice. Get your Gloomhaven on, people.
That's right.
Get in there. Watch the No Clip documentary, spit into your vial, and play Gloomhaven.
That's right.
All right. We went ahead and leapfrogged a day without Dunaway and came right back to a day with Dunaway.
That's right. So, 2 consecutive Dunaway days is what we had here.
Dunaway days. I like that.
Dunaway days.
Yeah, it's like a weird, I don't know, like you have cheese
It's
days.
a weird
and
Wang
festivals.
Chung song.
Oh, there you go.
Dunaway days.
Yeah, why not?
Dunaway days.
Dunaway days. We have to play this, though.
By the hand.
Join us now and joining us with and joining who, what, when, who? Brian Dunaway is with us. Hi, Brian.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian. I like being serenaded on.
Yeah?
That's fantastic.
Do you like that? We're going to sing you on every time now. This is the new rule. This is the new normal.
That's the new rule. That's great. I can't wait
The new normal.
to be sick of it.
Yes.
That's right.
There you go. We're going to take a caller here in a second for a game of Battle Royale. That number is 801-471-0462. If you've never called in before, it'd be a great time for you to call in. But if you've called in before, that's okay, too. We'll take you. We don't care.
Mhm. We'll take you. We'll take you any way we can get you.
Still waiting, though, for that call. Normally somebody has called by now, but that always makes me wonder if Google Voice is down or something. But
Right, because often it is.
If anyone has called,
Maybe it was that song.
Yeah, it could have been that song. Oh, here we go. I think we got somebody. Let's find out who this is. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Mark. I'm Mac Head in the Tadpool.
Well, hello, Mark. It's good to have you here.
Hey.
You know, my brother's name is Mark. That's really apropos of nothing. Who cares that my brother's name is Mark? But his name is
They're
Mark.
related.
Whoa, why is that so loud? Well, let's turn that down. It's good to have you here, Mark. We're going to explain these rules and tell you how you might win some prizes. Brian, you want to explain?
That's correct. I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian a topic. It is classic Battle Royale. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, a repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, the win goes to the other player. Mark, your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you're playing for a pair of games from Steam, courtesy of Wesley. First up is Path of Giants. Second is Lovecraft's Untold Stories.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, I don't know that second one.
I know that second one.
Battle Cthulhu with a pair of toothpicks.
That's right.
Do it.
That's all you have. Good luck to you. No, it's very good. It's a good game. Nothing wrong with it.
Cool. So to play this game, we need a topic. And this one comes to us from me. So lately, I've been realizing that in trivia, when we get trivia questions in our other games, I kind of suck sometimes when it comes to geography, right? Like I need...
Most do. Unless
Yes.
you live in the location, most do.
This is very true. Yes, Canada is a good example of this. And what I've been working on lately is Europe and all the countries in Europe, specifically the names of all of the capitals of the countries in Europe.
This is the worst thing to ask a bunch of Americans.
I'm about to
but-
say, this is going to be the shortest Battle Royale.
I don't think it will. I think you guys will do better than you think. And
Well, sure, I'll get a mulligan.
Yeah.
you guys get. I will give you each. So you'll get your initial mulligan, and I'll give you one more mulligan.
Oh, wow.
So you'll get two you'll get your initial mully and a second mully.
Okay.
Oh,
Two mullies.
Two mullies.
Yeah.
Mullies.
I like that.
And well, you always get your.
We always get our.
first
Yeah, we
answer.
get our. That first one's locked in. We're good there. That never goes away
Yes.
now.
And for full disclosure, of the 50 countries, sovereign nations recognized by the UN in Europe, I was able to get 23.
Holy Moses, you're
or-
way
or
better than me and
the
Scott. Maybe you should be
capitals.
on this side.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you that to show you how bad I am. Out
Oh.
of 50, I got less than half, right?
Well,
Out of 50,
we'll see
I'm
how
gonna
bad
get
it is,
3.
Yeah. We'll see how
You'll
bad
do
it
better
is.
than that.
It may
You'll do
be.
better than
I
that.
think I'm going to do
All right.
okay at this, but I'm not going to beat that many. But I'll do my
Yeah.
best.
All right, Mark, iMac Head. Who do you think is going to win? And who do you want to go first?
I like Scott's confidence, so I'm going to go Scott to win, Brian to start.
Excellent. I like the cut of
Smart.
Mark's jib. Yeah.
Smart.
All right.
Well, if there's
Dunaway.
anything I've learned about capitals in the U.S., is this. Just because it's the big city in that state doesn't mean it's the capital.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And that worries me because I know some big cities in European countries, but I can't say I've studied enough to know the capital.
That killed me for a couple countries. Is thinking, oh, okay, well, it's got to be this, and it's like,
Right.
oh no, that's the biggest city in that country.
Yeah,
but,
a good example would be a lot of people would assume something like L.A. would be the capital of California, Los Angeles, but it's not. It's Sacramento. So you have to, right? Yeah, it is Sacramento. But but it's one of those cases where it just may not be obvious to you what the capital is. So
correct. Right. All right. So Brian going first. Yep. Brian.
Right.
Name a capital city in Europe.
Do I have to know the capital city and in the country? Because come on,
you don't have to tell me the country if you don't want to.
That is funny because there's a few that I wasn't absolutely 100% sure about, but I'm gonna go with the one that I'm pretty sure about because I was researching Ireland last week before I talked to Ramira. I'm gonna go with Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin, indeed, is the capital of Ireland.
Very good. Can confirm.
Off to the races.
All right. Now you only have one mulligan left, just so you know.
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
All right. Let's do London, England.
Sure. London, England. Absolutely a capital.
Yeah.
United Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay, Brian.
Paris has got to be the capital of France, right? I mean, it's the only place that's there. I mean, where else could you put
What if
it?
it's the
nothing
only
else in
place
France.
that's there?
Like a barren wasteland once you get 5 kilometers out from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
so,
forget about Versailles. Forget about anything else. It's all just.
That's right.
It's all Paris.
Ask any Frenchman.
Ask any Frenchman you happen to see. There's nothing outside of gay Paris.
There you go. My gosh, you're like a crooner from the old times. Let's do now. What if the country that is in my head is still under the technical rule of the Queen? Does that count, or it has to be in Europe, like Europa, the space, the place, the continent?
Sovereign. Oh my God, you've given one answer already so far, and you're already trying to like screw with the rules.
No.
Sovereign nations in Europe.
Yeah, but
don't give me. I don't care about the Falkland Islands, Scott.
Okay,
or
so Canada doesn't
if it's on
count.
that list, you get it. If it's not on the list, you don't.
So you can't count. You can't count Canada, is what I'm saying, right?
No.
Okay.
Look, this is what I think today. Whatever list Ibbett has in front of him is the de facto answer. I don't want him to have to go looking for anything. Whatever's on the list, right or wrong.
Well, of course, that's
the absolute answer.
That's obvious. I'm just saying the Queen's still in charge. They can't do any final anything without the Queen's approval up in Canada. So I thought, well, maybe there's some by some extension. But now I know, so I can move on to a real one.
Europe.
All right.
As in the final countdown. As in.
All right. Let's do. Helsinki, Finland.
Okay, there we go. Helsinki, Finland. Yes.
Nice. I'm glad you used that one because I don't know that one at all. I know Helsinki, but I didn't know it was the capital of Finland.
Yeah.
All right. My turn again?
Yeah.
It is your turn again, Brian.
Yeah, that's just because I just went. So now it's your turn.
Yeah. Stall tactic.
So I don't think Moscow's under the rule of the Queen there. Yeah. So I'm going to go with that.
Yes, absolutely. Moscow, Russia.
Wait, aren't they? They're not in Europe. That's Asia.
They're in Europe. They're in Europe, Scott.
No, they're not.
Did you not
They are
visit
recognized
World
as a
War One?
sovereign
Okay, but that
country.
breaks the whole thing about location. They are on the Asian continent. They're not in Europe.
They're big enough that they're considered to be both in Asia and in Europe.
That's some horse
What I
shittery
thought
there.
is that not how the logic
That
of
is
the
absolutely
mind
true.
works?
Yes.
All right. You got me
man,
worried.
if
Well,
they're-
I said it because I wasn't 100% sure. I was worried you have to give me a mulligan. Anyway.
If they're in Europe, then China's in Europe. That's really dumb. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Say it. Say it. Say that.
Okay. I mean, I guess they're all connected, so you could say it's one giant continent, but that's still stupid. All right, let's move on to.
Not recognized as the UN European sovereign nation.
Let's see, Germany is weird. I have to be careful around Germany.
Everybody's got to be careful around Germany.
I know they've got 2 world wars, man. All right, let's go Zurich, Switzerland. We'll stick there. Stay there.
That's a good one.
Okay, there's your first
Shit. Isn't it Zurich?
Oh, really?
First mulligan, yeah.
Oh, I believe Scott. I thought that was right.
Zurich, not the capital of Switzerland. Come up with another one.
I have to go right away, right? That's how this works.
You have to go right away. Yep.
Oh, man. Why is my brain freezing up on this? Oh,
this is making my 48% look pretty good, actually.
Dude, I told you from the beginning. I'm like, you're doing great.
Let's do Hungary. Let's do Budapest.
Very good. Yes, Budapest, capital of Hungary. Half of my motherland, or half of something like that. Yeah, let's
half
say
of your
that.
motherland. Yeah,
half of my motherland.
Sure.
Half of my
I
motherland.
guess that's my motherland, and then the UK would be my fatherland.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh my God. We've
Yeah,
discussed
the
so
Danube,
much now.
the Danube splits the capital, which is Buda and Pest, on different sides of the Danube.
Go to Berlin.
Berlin. See, Brian's not afraid to look at Germany. Berlin is absolutely the capital of Germany.
Was it good?
All right. That's the one I was worried about because for some reason I was hesitant.
There's a lot of right. Yep.
Oh, I forgot. If I have to use the mulligan, I have to go straight away, though, don't I?
No, you
That's
did.
correct.
You got it.
Ooh, I'm going to be more careful with that then. I've been kind of shooting at the hip, thinking I'll get saved by that mulligan, but then it'll come right back to me. Oh, I'll be screwed then. Ooh.
All right. Let's do Spain and say Madrid's. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's say Madrid.
You sure?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yes, Madrid is the capital.
Oh God,
dang it!
Spain.
Frickin' geez.
Just in case you were thinking Barcelona, it is Madrid. Yes.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Dada, skitty, buddy.
Dunaway, you good?
What's that?
Nothing. You're good.
Ow. I'm really running short here. Did we already say the one for? Did we already discuss Switzerland? I can't remember now. Zurich.
You said it, but we. Oh yeah. There you go.
Okay, Zurich.
That's what I said.
All right.
Did we already say it?
I love the fact that you both mulliganed the same wrong answer.
That is
It's
so funny,
eaten into
dude.
my head.
That is so funny. It's still wrong.
I don't think that's ever happened with Battle Royale, that you guys
Oh
both
my
used
God.
the mulligan's
Scott-
the same wrong answer.
Scott's diseased mind
Yeah, that's me. All right.
subliminaled its way into my head.
Yeah.
I'm shuffling these cities in my head, and I'm like,
It's hard. All right, now you're.
I
right
know.
up
I
with
thought I
me.
heard somebody. I thought I heard you say it, and then, oh my God! All right, now I feel like we've said everything, and I know we've only got 5.
We
You
apologize.
guys have named 8.
We apologize
Really?
to the Swiss.
Holy Moses!
Yeah, we feel bad. We apologize to the Swiss. We are sorry for.
Oh, see, this is good. This is this is why I started doing geography games to try and brush up.
Did we already say Stockholm?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Stockholm.
Go with Stockholm? All right. Yes, good. Go with Stockholm. Stockholm, Sweden.
Oh, God.
Absolutely the capital. Nobody's said it yet. Well done.
Well, I couldn't remember because I thought it earlier. I was gonna make a joke and
I
say,
know.
"Oh, I feel like I'm suffering from Stockholm syndrome, and I'm starting to like you guys." And then I was like,
That's right. Exactly. Once we get about a third of the way through Babel Royale, Stockholm syndrome sets in, and you start liking me for making you do this.
So my sister's been to Iceland, and I want to say.
"Oh, is that in Europe?"
Oh, I know that because it better be if freaking Russia is then freaking Iceland is. All right, it's because this is where CCP is, the people that make video games. I'm gonna call that Reykjavik.
Reykjavik is correct. Yes. Yep. That is the capital of Iceland.
I don't even know those words.
Yeah, I wasn't able to spell it, and so when I was doing the app, it was like, I know I got this one, I just couldn't spell Reykjavik.
Oh, there's no way I could spell it off the top of my head. Even now, no idea. All right, Brian.
Turkey's in Europe, right?
Turkey's.
You can't tell me that. You can't tell me
I
that.
can't tell you. Turkey might be in Europe. I don't know. Might be.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Sing the song. Sing the song.
Now Constantinople.
Istanbul is not the capital of Turkey. No, so Scott wins the game. Da, 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 da.
Dadgummit.
Did you know that
Yeah,
song where they tell you
Ankara
what
is
the new
the capital, or Ankara is the capital.
Ankara. What?
Ankara.
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 There's no such place.
There's a
I
place.
think of it as like Ankaraj is the capital of Turkey.
Encourage, sweet. The gates have
Encourage.
opened. Fantastic.
That's the game.
Nice. So hold on.
You know what? I'm proud of what I did
I'm
because
gonna go
I
ahead and
didn't.
make.
You should be.
I'm gonna make.
I feel like I did okay.
I'm gonna make a controversial statement. Technically, there are no continents. They're all connected to the same. They all go under the ocean, attached to a seafloor that spreads way out, and then attaches to all these other bodies of land. Technically, we're all part of the same land. Can't we all get along? We're all Pangea at the end of the day.
I thought it was
So
defined by
are you
separated by a body of
defending-
water.
Are you defending Canada? Is
Yes.
is that the purpose of that?
Well, the reason I wanted Canada is it felt like a good trickery one to have in my pocket because everyone always wants to say Toronto or something, Montreal or whatever. But I know that it's Ottawa, and it's a hard one for a lot of people to remember. So I was going to kind of hang on to that one, not even use it right up front. It was going to be my, like, bail me out of jail card. But I still say Russia is not part of Europe.
All
That
right,
is
so
horseshit.
so
The
Scott
History
wins,
Channel
therefore-
disagrees.
Therefore, IMAC head win. Let me give you a few countries and let me see if you're able to come up with, because I think you forgot about countries like Italy.
Oh my God,
Jeez.
we didn't say Italy.
Rome.
Nobody said Italy.
Rome.
Rome.
Right?
Uh-huh.
God.
Let's say Greece.
Oh, Athens. Shit.
Why didn't we
Athens,
say that?
exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, capital of Switzerland is Bern, B-E-R-N. Feel Bern. Just
Oh.
burn both
Burn.
of you.
All right.
Sorry, Swiss friends.
All right, where is Jean-Claude Van Damme from?
Oh, Brussels.
Brussels. Oh my God.
The muscles from Brussels. The
That's right.
capital is Waffle. I don't know what's the capital.
What kind of tobacco do they chew in Denmark?
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is right.
Damn it.
Oh.
How do they like their chicken in the Ukraine?
Cooked.
Fried. fried. Kiev.
Strangled.
Kiev, chicken Kiev.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know that. Yeah.
Portugal.
Oh wait, I
You
know
never
that,
hear about them anymore.
Portugal City.
You just never hear about them.
Lisbon. Capital of
Lisbon.
Portugal.
Shit.
Yep. And if you ever get stumped, think of Luxembourg, Monaco, Vatican City, and just say the name of the country, and that's the capital as well. The capital of Luxembourg, Monaco, and Vatican City is Luxembourg, Monaco, and Vatican City.
Now, see, I've got to go study all these, and you'll never ask us any European geographical questions again.
Why would I?
Yeah, why would you?
Oh, Austria. How about Austria?
Oh,
Think
no,
of little sausages.
I know this one.
Think
Vienna.
of
Vienna
little
sausages.
sausages, is that what
Vienna
you said?
sausages. That's it. Vienna.
What's
Wieners.
Vienna's right. And Poland.
Oh,
Is it
Oslo.
Almost a
Warsaw?
No. Warsaw.
Warsaw.
Oslo. Oslo's Germany.
Oslo is Norway.
I know more of this than I think. I just. Norway,
I knew less than I thought.
Who has the clogs and the clog shoes and the freaking windmills? Who's that? I can't think of that.
That's
Oh,
Netherlands.
Netherlands,
That's
okay. All right. Hey, everybody, we did it. We did it, and really paid attention in that unit of our history class, or of our modern, whatever the hell it was, geography. Hey, how's that feel, Mark? You won. Good job.
That was really funny. Thanks, guys.
It was pretty painful today. Oh, I got to play your thing.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
There you go. That's proof that you won. That means you need to send
Especially
Brian.
if that's chicken Kiev.
Yeah, there you go. Send Brian an email. Brian's over at coverville@gmail.com. He'll send you your prizes, and you will walk off victorious, shiny and chrome before the gates of Valhalla, which is not a capital of any city that I'm aware of.
Capital Valhalla.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Brian Dunaway.
Sorry, Zoe brings bacon and Claire Gack. Us Americans, we'll do better. We'll do better.
Yeah, we'll work on it. It's fine. Ask them to tell me all the capitals in the states. They can't do it.
Yeah, I know. Ask any. Yeah, I've seen people do that. It's like
or other countries, Africa or other.
Yeah, it's like
continents.
where are the states at? I mean, it's if you don't live there, you don't have a lot of access to it.
Yeah.
I only know the ones that I knew was from just people I've met online and communicated with, and
Yeah. Well, a part of it is also we're
background
ignorant.
research.
We're ignorant a-holes. That's the other problem. So we have that going for us. Hey,
well, I mean, in my
Dunaway,
day-to-day living, why do I need to know the capital of the
because
Netherlands?
we're arrogant
If I
a-holes.
don't engage in trade or commerce of any sort with those, then why would I know it?
Then
other
why
than
would
to
you
know it?
need to have any other information about anything than the rest
Well,
of
if
the
I'm not
world?
going to meet anybody
Why
from,
do I need
come
to
on.
know that?
Yeah,
This is true.
that
This is true.
sounds
How am I
like-
going to use that information?
That sounds like, and trust me, I'm one of them, an arrogant a-hole.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if I went to Russia and I said, "Quick, what's the capital of Virginia?" And they go, "I don't know," and I'm like, "It's okay, you don't have to know."
Wouldn't it suck
It's
if they
okay.
did know, though? It'd be, oh,
don't
yes,
have to
this
know.
is easy question. This is answer. And he just gives you the answer.
Right?
and
We
you're
all
like,
learned that in grade school.
Yeah. We have good education
Stupid
here.
Americans.
All right, Dunaway, anything you want to mention this week that you got going on? We did a Boop show yesterday. This weekend we got Film Sack. All the usuals, but anything in particular? Like you streaming soon? People can watch you stream.
Absolutely, I'm going to stream tomorrow night. I'll be going back to the Graveyard Keeping. Me and Kit London hang out on Thursday nights at 5:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
Usually before the core show.
Yeah.
And we run up right until then. Then we raid the core show, so that we hang out and play a little Stardew Valley-like Graveyard Keeping.
That game is cool. It's weird.
Just a lot of fun.
It's like a dark Stardew Valley. That's true.
It is dark.
Yeah, very
but
dark.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And I
fun
know
and dark.
all the capitals.
Dark and fun. Brian, have a great day. Kiss our butts. Real quick, someone asked me a question. JC Calhoun, what is the capital of Virginia? It's freaking Richmond, dude. I know. I live in this country.
And we already did Babel Royale named the American capital cities.
Yeah,
state
and we did
capital
way
cities.
better on that. Way better. Because we live here, we kind of have to know sometimes.
That's right. That was drummed into our heads a lot more than European capitals.
Exactly. All right.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to do...
We got time for a news story, don't
I'm
we?
going to do a news story, yeah. And it's going to be this second one, I think. All right, here we go. Let's do this right here, if I can frickin' find it. Here you go.
You need to read this, sir. You need to read it now.
Hey, we're doing the news, and it's brought to you by...
Oh, we're going to read it now. Hey, America's Next Top Podcaster. You've been waiting. Scott and I have been talking about it for the last month, right? Because he's been judging. I've been hosting. Bobby's been producing. Hammond's been producing. And I'm happy to say the very first episode is out. If you go to americasnexttoppodcaster.com or just subscribe in iTunes, search for it in whatever podcast tool you use, you'll find the very first episode introducing you to the first 12 or these 12 contestants for season 3 and giving them their first challenge. What could I be giving them for a first challenge? You'll just have to find out as you meet all 12 contestants on the first episode, now available, of America's Next Top Podcaster.
Yeah. Go check it out.
It's fun stuff.
Yeah. We get into some weeds
Yes,
soon.
and then watch as we terrorize them for 12 weeks. Haze them like the frat pledges that they are.
Yep. A little bit of that going on. All right. This story here I wanted to tell you about is about an Indian man from India. Okay. We don't say that here anymore because that's, those are Native Americans. Come on now. Let's
That's
get
right,
straight.
yes.
An Indian man was killed by his own bird during a cockfight. Cockfight.
So wait, he flipped somebody the bird.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm pouring coffee right now. Flipped somebody the bird, got in a fight. Somebody punched him in the where, and he died.
Yeah,
That's
right in the cockfight. He got hit. The bird's owner was
I wasn't paying
impaled.
attention. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. The bird's owner was impaled in the groin by the knife. As the animal tried to escape. The man died on the way to the hospital from the loss of blood. Police are now searching for 15 more people involved in the event. They are not legal.
That'll teach you to bring a knife to a cockfight.
To a cockfight, exactly. Don't ever bring a knife to a cockfight.
Don't ever bring a knife to a cockfight.
I've heard this before. It's an old phrase people should integrate into their daily lives. The animal was held.
So it really was.
Yeah.
Really was,
Oh yeah.
Okay, in the groin. Okay.
Yep, right in the groin, and there's big old veins in there. I don't know if you've looked lately, but
yeah,
you got to watch out for those veins. They'll
I'm
bleed
familiar.
out. The animal was held in a police station before being transferred to a farm. I love that it was it was like a holding cell at the police station. We got to keep this cock here. He can't go anywhere. He's staying here.
Oh my God! Just picturing this chicken pacing the floor.
Yep.
Come on, when are you gonna get me out of
Yeah,
here?
get me
You
outta here.
You dirty screws!
I want to talk to my lawyer. See, I say,
I know my rights.
Picture Foghorn Leghorn in jail. That's what I picture.
I demand to see my lawyer.
Where's my lawyer? I say my lawyer. Let's see. Everybody involved faces charges of manslaughter, illegal betting, and hosting of a cockfight. Local police officer B. Jevan said the animal would be taken to court as evidence in a later date. According to the New Indian Express, cockfighting was made illegal in India in 1960, but fights are still relatively common in rural areas such as Telangana, and many falling around the Hindu festival of Sankranti.
By the way, that's how Barry, Maurice, and Robin get around in a BG van.
Oh, I get it. A BG van.
A BG van.
Like the Bee Gees. I get it. That's pretty good. Also, what was I going to say? I forgot. The New Indian Express, their paper sounds like a place I'd want to eat, doesn't it?
It totally does.
Oh,
yes.
the New Indian Express.
It absolutely does. Is New Indian Express on DoorDash yet? Can we order something from the New Indian Express?
Yeah, we got the garlic naan and the curry and the whatnot. I would eat that right now.
A little Penang, a little just green curry. Oh,
it's not the first time it says an owner's been killed by their cock. Last year, a man in Pradesh, which is a place, died after he was hit in the neck by a blade attached to his bird.
I thought she was the editor of the Beverly Hills 90210 high school newspaper.
At the Peach Pit. Hanging out
No, the newspaper. What was the
I don't
was it
remember.
just the Beverly Hills Gazette or the Beverly Hills High Gazette? What was it called?
Something dumb.
Yeah.
Something dumb.
She's the head of the SAG.
Oh,
Screen
she
Actors
is?
Guild
Really?
now. Yeah. Gabrielle Carteris.
How do you get that
She's
job?
She's the one that Trump had to write a letter to say, I don't want to be part of your organization anymore. Yeah.
So wait, how do you get to be a leader of that? If you're just, it sounds like anybody can do it. From
You
what you
apply,
said.
you get nominated and voted in. And
Okay.
and Andrea from Beverly Hills 90210 got in.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I find that odd.
It was the Beverly Blaze? No way. Was it really? Hey, look at that. There's a little kid.
Beverly Blaze. Oh, is there? Oh my gosh. Hi, bud. Oh, did I scare him? I didn't mean to scare him. Hi, buddy. Hi.
Oh.
You're gonna see me. Hi. What's going on? Do you want to say something? You want to say Scott? Say hello.
Hello.
Can you say Brian?
Gowers.
Yeah, Gowis. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's close enough. I'll take it.
Can you say Ibbit? Int. Can you say frog off? Frog? Can you say frog?
Frog.
Better bleep that one out.
Nothing more fun than teaching kids swear words that aren't really swear words.
Oh, sorry, Chad. I forgot to show him on camera. He's very cute today. I was looking at Brian the whole time. That's funny.
Oh, no, really?
That's my fault.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I apologize to the chat room for having to look at me that whole time. Damn.
He gets to hang out here today, so. Huh?
The kitty's so cute.
Oh, he likes my cute kitty behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. He likes Henry.
Yeah,
all right.
he doesn't.
I'll be up soon, and or when the show's over, and we'll go for a walk with the dog. That'll be fun. All right. What the hell am I doing? Well, we're going to take a break. That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
This
All
break will be brought to you by us here at the show, because we need your help over at patreon.com/TMS. If you haven't yet contributed, you don't know what you're missing. There's great things over there, so go check it out. Only take you a minute. Patreon.com/TMS. All right, Brian, before we bring in Tom and Nicole and everything, we should play a song.
Yeah, this is great too. This is just what you need to kind of mellow you into the rest of your Wednesday, like it did for me. A guy named Stephen Fretwell has a brand new track out, and it's available on Speedy Wonderground. Big thanks to Sally over at Speedy Wonderground for getting this over to me. If you like acoustic, kind of like I don't know. I don't want to call dream pop, but just like a really nice acoustic number. It's as smooth as a cup of coffee or a glass of tea, if that's your thing. Very Jeff Buckley, if you like Jeff Buckley and Hallelujah, stuff like that. Really, really good stuff. The brand new track is called Oval. Here is Stephen Fretwell.
All right. If I could push the right button. All right. We'll see you guys in a second.
right.
Stay tuned.
Can you say Scott?
Shot.
Scott.
Stuck.
Scott.
Stuck.
Scott.
Stuck.
Scott. Can you say Scott?
Cut.
Scott.
Stud.
Scott.
Go outside.
No.
Why?
The sun is a deadly laser.
Great Scott!
The morning stream. Batman.
And we've returned, everyone. That's hilarious. I didn't plan that. That was already in there.
It was great timing. Yeah, no kidding.
I
That's
didn't know
awesome.
he was going to be here today, but anyway. Or I did know he was going to be here today, but I forgot he was going to probably come down here and say hi on camera. And then I showed Brian the whole time. It was adorable. Brian was adorable for that few moments.
Yeah. See, yeah.
Yeah, see? All right. We have we've only come so far because Tom isn't here yet. And when he arrives,
We can only go so far without a Tom. This
I
is true.
agree. That's a Wednesday for you right there. Here's his.
Hey, maybe while we wait, you can try and get me to say some words. Oh, darn it, Tom's here.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
The man himself, Tom Merritt, joins us as he does every Wednesday to talk about the leading tech headlines of the day. And Tom, it's great to see you. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing peachy. How are you all?
Fantastic.
We're good, thanks.
Feeling all right. I had a really great doctor's appointment yesterday with good numbers and all that, and then I signed
How's your colon?
Oh, my colon's great. Zero issues with the old colon. It's working like a charm.
Perfect.
That's how us 50-year-olds talk.
Yep.
How's the colon, Scott?
How's your fiber intake these days?
Oh, it's blown out.
Blowing out the big news. Hey, that's fantastic. So it's good to have you here as always. I usually try to spend some time in the morning on Wednesdays to go, wonder which of these stories Tom will talk about. But today, I didn't look at any of them, so I don't know what's happening in the world of tech. So
mystery.
You're our only hope.
Well, AMD has announced a brand new chip you won't be able to buy because all the bots will get it first.
Oh, no. This is a new video thing or a new just CPU?
Yeah, a couple of big announcements out of AMD. The 6700 XT will launch on March 18th for $479. It's their entry-level powerful graphics card, $100 less than the RX 6800. The 6700 XT has 230 watts of power, 12 gigabytes of video memory, 40 compute units, but only $479. So you still need an 8-pin and a 6-pin connector. It's got the dual connection thing. And AMD was bending over backwards to try to stop people from me making snarky jokes like that. Like, we're working on the supply chain. We're going to try to make these available from as many retailers as possible and all that stuff. So who knows? Maybe they'll pull it off. We shouldn't punish them before they've had a chance to do it. The other big news is that they are rolling out resizable bar to the 3000 series chips, which are a lot easier to get. And if you don't know what resizable bar is, don't feel bad. It's kind of wonky. It basically is a feature of PCI Express that lets the CPU directly access the memory on the graphics card, and that improves your frame rate. Makes frame rates better. So that's been available on the 5000 and the 6000 AMD series. It's now come to the 3000 series. You do need a newer motherboard. So you have an older 3000 series on an older motherboard, you might not be able to take advantage of it. But if you're building a new machine, this makes the 3000 series an option to consider because now you got the resizable bar.
Right. I mean, the biggest problem with all of this is, and NVIDIA can't escape this either, obviously, but there's some worries that people are like, man, I'll have a 4030 before I get a 3080. Like, we'll be at a whole new generation before there's even availability on this stuff. Like, at some point, do you think they stop? If you had to guess, does any of this ever force anyone, including the chip shortage we're dealing with now, and the potential fallout from that, is there anybody who just stops making a generation so that things can catch up? or is that just that probably seems
I
crazy.
don't know if that would help, right? Because if you stop making a generation, you're definitely not increasing the supply, right?
Right.
So unless you're ready to put out the new, I guess the way I look at it is you've got a certain amount of capacity to push out chips, whether they're old generation or new generation, and you're trying to increase that capacity and get more chips out. And if you stopped and skipped, you'd just have fewer chips.
Right. And yeah, that's interesting. It's just an interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing there, but I think in the end it might be that simple where, you know what, when the 4000 series is ready or whatever they call it, they'll start rolling it out, and they just won't have been able to make as many of the 3000 series as they could have, or maybe they ramp up. You know, I guess where you might be onto something is they might extend the life of the 3000 series as a more affordable component because not as many people were able to get them. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I guess we just haven't been faced with this before. Normally availability is what it is, and maybe at the beginning of a new cycle it's not,
Yeah, right.
easy,
Usually
but-
it goes away after a little bit.
And this is not going away. Plus,
the
I
one
don't
thing
know.
AMD did say is they're not going to reduce any functionality. NVIDIA recently announced some reduced functionality in some of their cards to try to force cryptocurrency miners to buy cryptocurrency specific cards that NVIDIA makes. AMD says, yeah, we're not doing that. We'll sell this to whoever wants it.
Yeah, their card is I just saw it yesterday, 2060 or some resurrected card from the last generation that is particularly good at cryptocurrency.
And they left out a few components that are needed for video games but aren't needed for cryptocurrency to, I think, make it easier to produce. Gave it a new name.
I just feel like I finally got an invite, not that I wanted one, but I got an invite to the that Clubhouse deal. And I noticed I got in there and did not share my contacts. I hate doing that. A lot of people don't like that they ask for those. But anyway, I got in there and I'm just kind of browsing around this stuff, and everything I listened to sounded like just noisy rooms full of too many people. But clearly it's working for some people. But there are so many crypto rooms. It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just nothing but that. So I have to imagine that either that's a reflection of this massive uptick in crypto mining and whatever, or that helps contribute to less cards being available because more people are talking about it, more people are making the decision to try to get one or whatever.
Crypto surging is definitely affecting all of this. For a while, it seemed like the crypto miners had moved on to specific cards like ASICs.
Yeah.
And I think they had until we had the two things happen at the same time of a rise in cryptocurrency miners as interest is rising, as you noticed by every other Clubhouse room being about cryptocurrency. So you have more people wanting to do it and fewer chips for them to get. So if they can't get an ASIC or they can't get a cryptocurrency specific card, then they're like, well, let me see if I can grab an AMD card. Then maybe I'll get an NVIDIA card. At least I'll be able to do something. And then, of course, then that means there's fewer cards for everybody else. So we're kind of back. We had gotten away from that for a while where it's like, the crypto miners really are after different cards.
Yeah.
But the chip shortage has kind of thrown everybody into competing with each other again.
Do any of those people have any actual money? I'm just curious.
What, the cryptocurrency people?
Yeah. I mean, they do, right? But they don't. Or do they? Like, do they? Do they really have any money? You know
yes.
what I mean?
Yes and no. If they cash out a Bitcoin right now, they've got about, I don't know, $50,000 per Bitcoin that they have. And so they can turn it into real money at any time.
I guess so. But then any minute now, bubble happens, pop, oh no, whatever, right? Like we could.
And that's especially true of all the other cryptocurrencies out there, right? There's not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually fairly stable. Yeah. It got to a high of 70,000 and then it dropped down. Then it got to 100,000, then it dropped down. But it never dropped all the way down.
Yeah.
And it's been fairly steady, even in this latest surge, where even when it drops back down, it doesn't drop. The bottom doesn't drop back out. It doesn't drop back out to its lowest previous point. So there's something to Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be stabilizing. Ethereum, pretty good. Dogecoin, hilarious, but actually relatively stable comparatively. There's so many other crypto coins out there that are not, and that do exactly what you're saying, which they skyrocket, and if you don't cash out at the right time, then they plummet back down.
Okay. Well, I just assume somebody's paying $50K for Bitcoins because someone's selling them, and then someone else is saying, well, I still think this is a good time to buy, so they're buying them at 50. That's just as, I don't know.
And remember, you can buy an infinitesimal amount of a Bitcoin. You can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, which is, a fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin because they're digital. You can slice them up as much as you want.
Right, all the way down to the 0.00 whatever. Yeah. Well, it's all very weird, and welcome to our future nightmare. Tom Merritt,
now,
everybody.
are you going to start selling your art as non-fungible tokens?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of talk about that too. Like I've heard, that's the other thing, is there's been rumblings in the kind of commission/art print space that they're going to be hot new cryptocurrency adjacent ways for artists to sell and get hired. And I guess
because the idea of the non-fungible token is that even though digital art is infinitely copyable, you can be on record as being the authorized owner, right?
Right.
So you hear it talked about as like you own the original copy. Nobody really owns the original copy, right? How many copies of your art do you make in the process of making it?
Right.
But you can use the non-fungible token to say it is this person that I've given the rights to say they own the original copy of.
Yeah, and there's just no way. I mean, that's actually really interesting. Like, conceptually, that's a thing that we just haven't had. We've all just sort of accepted the fact that we put it out there and we hope people give us credit and we hope that they come and support us and, that they and that works to whatever degree, but there's also plenty of stuff getting stolen. I still, like on Reddit, I'll see something of mine and it would be cropped out so my signature's not there, and it's just a JPEG and who knows who owns it or who came up with it, and they get 1 million upvotes, but I don't see any benefit from that at all. Like none. So maybe in a world of the non-fungible,
it's not as I understand it, it's not exactly copy protection though, right? People could still copy your art.
No, but it's
saying like I'm going to sell the right to say I own something where nobody else can say that, because there's a blockchain out there that you can look at and check and say like, oh no, Brian Ibbett is the one who owns this original Mendoza portrait.
Right. This one on the wall over here, I could sell him that. So that's interesting. Like that does have ramifications that kind of make me think. So we'll see. Maybe one day blockchain will make real sense to me, and you won't have to explain it over and over anymore. So it'll be great. It's a great new future we're looking forward to, including the future that is just a few hours down the line today, where I'll be on the Daily Tech News Show. It is Wednesday, and I love Wednesdays. So if you haven't been there live, you really should. If you get it on the podcast version, that's great too. But come check it out and see what's going on at the Daily Tech News Show, dailytechnewsshow.com. Tom Merritt, anything else going on you'd like to mention?
The day you understand blockchain might be tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Tomorrow's episode of Know a Little More at knowalittlemore.com is all about blockchain.
Fantastic. I'm all subbed and ready. I was already
10 minutes
subbed.
of me saying, here's what it is. Here's how it works. I try to avoid falling down the Bitcoin cryptocurrency rabbit hole. I have to bring it in a little to talk about examples, but I use other examples like farming and shipping. I mentioned non-fungible tokens in there. So I don't know. I'm gambling all that this might be the one that finally explains it.
All right. All I heard was fudge tokens, which sounds great.
Well, there's fudge tokens and non-fudge tokens.
Oh, I see. Okay. And non-fungible, which again,
which you can't add fudge to.
You guys are no fungible.
No fudge for you. All right. Tom Merritt, everybody. Ace Detect on Twitter. We will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Well, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Brings us to the point of the show where Nicole gets drug in here of her own free will.
Kicking and screaming. And
I mean, she wants to be a part of it, so we'll allow it.
All right.
Let's get her in here, see what we can do about all this. This talk of things we've recommended, things we've been watching on streaming and the whatnot. Hey, look who it is. It's Nicole Spag. Nicole, hi, welcome.
Hi.
Your camera's
Hello.
spinning. You're supposed your camera's spinning, but that's okay. You can yell Mark.
There it goes.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, now we gotcha.
Hey, it's Nicole Spag.
Going for the wet look.
That's
I just
right.
took a shower.
Hey, Before we get into things and talk recommendals and everything else, I would like to know just a little more, speaking of knowing a little more, about your awesome snow fort you made with the kids. My gosh, that was a lot of work.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it looked awesome.
I made that. That was
Did you
me.
make it? That was you?
All me.
Oh, man, I was hoping the kids did all the heavy lifting.
Mark, well, it initially was me and Mark, and the kids were kind of filling in the gaps, and then Mark bailed, and I'm like, I'm going to make an awesome snow fort.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
It's
you know, you get you can get these little block things, like molds at Target.
Yeah.
And you just scoop it up and
pack it with snow and then tip it upside down.
I felt like a bricklayer.
Well, it's really cool. I'm going to put a quick image up here so everybody
When we
can
had
see.
the freezing weather last week, someone in maybe Westminster or Thornton got little metal, those metal sheet pans that you see at catering things, like they're disposable aluminum sheet pans. And
Yeah.
put water in them, some food coloring, and then put them outside to freeze, and then just kept repeating that process. And she built an igloo made out of these transparent ice, different colored ice.
Okay, that's
blocks.
too much, Mom, for me.
That is way too much, Mom. Yeah.
I was proud of myself. Like, yeah, we could.
As you
we could do
should
that.
be. Yes, as you should be.
Well, it looks really good, and I'm jealous and loved that stuff when I was a kid. So cool mom mode.
You should do it. You should do it with Van.
Well, we would have if the snow would have stuck. Like, we got one day of really gnarly snow, but it was really dry and flighty and not good for packing at all. And then it melted, and now there's none. Like, we have none. We went from tons of snow, like a foot and a half, to none. So I don't know. It's not been the winter of our content, or whatever I'm trying to say. Hey, why don't we dive into recommendals? This is where we talk about stuff on streaming services that we both like or enjoy or otherwise recommend. Sometimes we warn you against something, but most of the time it's stuff
I might have a warning.
Oh,
a warning. Excellent. I love the warnings.
A warn you mental. Brian here has the option to start, because he always does, and we got two from you today. What do you want to start
I will
with?
take that option. Let's start with number one. This is a movie.
Here's your clip.
You don't get lonely? Got a girlfriend anywhere?
Well, she lives up in the North Country, small farm. She's happy with her life there. I write letters to her.
Oh, smart man. Very good. Letters are good.
I just can't ever write about anything I reckon she'd care about.
You ever try poems?
I don't think I know one. You know any?
How about one that I used for my wedding vow when I was not much older than you?
Oh, right on.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely, more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds.
That's Margie.
That is.
That's that new. Let me think of the name. I know it. It's like not Vagabond.
So close, yeah.
You're gonna have to tell me, but I want to see it.
It is Nomad Land. That is Francis McDormand. He's fleeing the interview. She's fleeing. Nicole fleeing the recommendals.
Oh, did Nicole take off?
Yes, that is Francis McDormand new movie called Nomad Land, which actually just won the best motion picture drama on the Golden Globe Awards. Chloe Zhao won the best director, and I can see why. This is such a good film. It's one of those kind of slice of life things, although it doesn't feel as non-directional as some slice of life movies, like where it's, all right, well, what did I just watched 2 hours of a slice of somebody's life, didn't really get anything out of it. But it's you do see, no pun intended, Fern's journey through life. Basically, she lived in a town that was reliant on gypsum for drywall. The factory dried up, or the need for gypsum dropped, and so and her husband passed away, and so she basically was left without a town. So she hopped in her van and she's traveling the South Dakotan landscape, and just living on her own in a van, pooping in a bucket. Yes, you get to see Frances McDormand poop in a bucket.
Fantastic.
Down by the river.
Down by the river.
Yeah.
In a van. That's right. It's kind of a heartwarming because you see her interacting with all these people. There are all these nomads that cluster together and then kind of move on to the next place, but then they cluster together in the next place.
Sorry.
It's called Nomad Land.
Nomad
Land, and it's streaming on Hulu right now. It's based on a book called Nomad Land: Surviving America in the 21st Century. And for the most part, a lot of the people in the film are actual nomads. Like, she traveled with them. I assume she actually really did poop in a bucket. You get to see the weird thing that you thought you'd never see, which is full frontal Frances McDormand nudity.
Whoa.
Which I don't think any of us in our lives were saying, you know what we need?
Margie, what are you doing, Margie?
What are you doing, Margie? However, this was the third highest rated film of 2020 on Metacritic. It is, and well deserved. It is really, really good. But it's
why is she pooping in a bucket? Why don't she just dig a hole?
Because she's a nomad. She's
a
nomad.
nomad.
No.
Yeah.
And
But you dig a hole.
You take your poop with you.
If you live in South
Nicole.
Dakota, I don't think you can dig holes very easy. It's all frozen all the time.
I guess if it's frozen.
Yeah. I do love that she's in
also-
South Dakota, which is just like her being Margie again, except not. But anyway.
That's right. Also stars David Strathairn as
Love him.
a friend that she meets along the way, and he is so fantastic. I mean,
He's
there's
never not
the
good,
dude,
that
you know, from The Expanse to what was that? Tinker Tailor,
From The
Soldier Spy.
Expanse
From The Expanse to things he did before The Expanse.
He was in that really great George Clooney directed film. What was it called?
Oh,
Good Night and Good Luck. Was that it? Good Night and Good Luck.
Good Night and Good Luck. Yes, of course.
He was
the main
fantastic in that. He was great
Right.
in the Bourne movies. He was the CIA turned bad guy in the Bourne movies. He's awesome. Just great.
Anyway,
great actor.
really, really good. Don't expect that you're going to have, full on action every minute, but it's really, really good. Nomad Land streaming right now on Hulu.
Sneakers too. He's the blind hacker.
Sneakers, of course.
Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah, he's great. He is so good.
I love him. All right. Moving now to your second clip.
Numero dos. And
All right.
Scott and I both watched this one, as did Randy Deluxe, and two-thirds of us liked it.
Yeah. You'll have to find out which 2/3 in a moment. Here it is.
Oh my goodness, have I done something wrong?
Oh, no, ma'am. This is to help you. The court has ruled, under the guidance of your doctor, that you require assistance in taking care of yourself. And the court has appointed me to be your legal guardian.
What?
When we cease to be able to take adequate care of ourselves, the state steps in to help. We can't just sit by while people struggle.
I'm not struggling. I'm fine. I'm more than fine. I don't need help.
I'm afraid it's not up to you or me to decide. The court has ruled that you do need help, and as your legal guardian, it's my duty to ensure that adequate care is supplied to you at all times.
Let me tell you something. I never went to court. This is the first thing I've heard about
In
court.
emergencies, the court can convene without the presence of the prospective ward.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, ma'am, you have to come with me.
So Randy didn't
This
like
is
it.
like
but
Gone
Brian,
Girl in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
But Brian and I
Rosamund
really
Pike.
liked it, man. I liked it a lot.
And here's the thing, all of that is completely true and completely happens. Like, this isn't based on a true story, but thanks to Tina and her new job working in adult protective services, we find out that this sort of thing can and does happen, unfortunately. And it's basically a con artist can work with your doctor, who's also in on the take, played by Alicia Witt, and swoop in and take control of your life. Your grandmother, pull her right out of her home where she seems to be doing just fine, stick her in a nursing home, fill her full of drugs so she can't argue, and then while she's gone, turn around and sell everything she owns in her house and her house itself.
Yeah.
And the problem with this movie, or the problem in this situation, is she does it to somebody that you just shouldn't have done it to.
Yep.
And so Diane Weiss plays, you heard Diane Weiss and Rosamund Pike in that scene. You also get Peter Dinklage in a great Peter Dinklage role that never once takes advantage of his size as as a construct in the film. It's never addressed
He is
you know,
like legitimately it's my favorite thing he's
it's
ever done.
irrelevant.
I mean,
It's
that's
irrelevant
his
to
goal,
right. It's irrelevant to the character, and
he's
and
awesome.
he's so good.
He's so good in it. It's the best thing I've ever seen him do, and I mean that. I really liked him in Game of Thrones, and he killed it in lots of other stuff. But there's something here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's so good. It's
He
just he's
chews
scary.
up the scenery. Is so good.
He's scary in it. He is just very memorable. The ending's got some issues. We've talked about that a little on Film Sack. Have we said the name? It's called I Care a Lot.
It's called I Care a Lot. Yeah. This is streaming on Netflix. And speaking of awards, this one also won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress for Rosamund Pike, which was a huge surprise based on who else she was up against. She was up against some really big names, some good talent. And
Can we just
very
say that the Golden Globes was weird?
Oh, it was completely and totally weird. Yes.
So weird. And I was so happy that Ted Lasso won.
Yes.
But
boy,
poor
does
Jason
Sudeikis look sad. Poor guy.
Well, he is sad. His wife
for
dumped
him.
him for a One Direction kid. It sucks.
I know.
Sucks.
I just want to take him in and buy him a beer and hug him.
I feel
and
like
shoot
he
darts with
is,
him.
but I feel like he is Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Well, no,
Like-
he is. He's a nice guy. From all accounts, he's a really nice guy, and it sucks that he got hosed on that deal.
It was great watching a bunch of Zoom meetings, and something that I didn't realize that I now need to go back and
Sorry.
That's
doorbell.
That's Mark, right? That's
Dougie.
Mark yelling. Oh, it's Dougie. Oh,
Was that Dougie or Millie?
yeah, might be Mark.
That might be Mark.
It was Dougie. It continues to be Dougie. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
That's fine. That's fine. Something that I need to go back apparently and watch is that during the Zoom meeting for best TV drama actor, Al Pacino fell asleep while he was showing the nominations. So I apparently need to go back and see that. Hooah!
That guy's got no time for that, man. He needs his naps when he needs them. Anyway, so that's good.
I Care a Lot.
I liked a lot. I thought that movie was great. Really enjoyed it.
Really, really good. And
Yep.
Tina, it's funny because with Tina's job as it is, she loved the movie, but she hated Rosamund Pike's character from the get-go. There was no point at which you're like, oh man, now I'm kind of feeling sympathetic towards her. And now I'm feeling not sympathetic towards her. No, Tina's like, no, because she did that, she's dead to me for the entire rest of the
I'm kind of with her. I never once felt in fact, if anything about the ending that I did like is it felt like she kind of got what was coming to her. Which I won't get into here to spoil it, but like she just pissed me off to no end. But it's part of what drags you in because you're like, oh, I got to see how this turns out because who I'm rooting for is freaking Peter Dinklage's psycho drug lord character, and I want revenge for what she's doing to old people. Like, oh man,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's times you're not rooting for Dinklage either. You know, I mean, it's
you don't root for anyone; they all suck. Like everyone kind of sucks, and if that sounds like you hear that and go, "Oh, I don't want to watch that," think like Get Shorty meets like there's a vibe here that is a very familiar filmmaking kind of vibe to me.
Yeah,
reminds me of mid-90s sort of. I don't know. Sometimes even funny takes on hard material, not Tarantino-ish, but.
No, but I mean, all right, like Usual Suspects, you know, there are characters, every character that you kind of like is still, shooting Hungarians on a dock in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really good watch, but yes, it is heavy.
Yeah, it's quite good. All right, here's mine. I have two, but one's really short. Here's the one I really want to push though, and it's an older movie, currently streaming on Prime, and I love it, so I'm sharing it. Here you go.
How is Michael? Is he okay? I've spoken to him. He understands. That's tough. Seeing that for the first time. Well, you turned out. You can't protect him forever. If it wasn't this, it'd be something else. Natural law. Sons are put on this earth to trouble their fathers.
There you go. Any guesses?
God, that voice sounds fun. That's not Ed Asner or
No, but that's funny.
It sounds like the boss from Reservoir Dogs. You brought up Reservoir Dogs.
No,
I'm thinking
it does sound like him. It's not him, though. Much more famous, much more classic character. The movie is Road to Perdition.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That comic book movie. That movie that's based on a comic book.
Yeah, it's based on a graphic novel, a Dark Horse book, which,
right.
no heroes or anything. It's just kind of a noir tale. But this is directed by Sam.
Maybe it was the Commander movie that you were talking about.
I love that too, but that's now.
Sorry.
How can you not like that movie? That movie is so good.
I fell asleep. I tried to watch that movie. I fell asleep so many times trying to get through it.
I get it. It's not for everyone, but Master and Commander is amazing. Anyway,
it's a boring
if you
movie.
haven't seen Road to Perdition,
Anyway.
you're going to want to see it. This is Sam Mendes. Dude, what did American or what's Rose Belly movie? What's the movie with the girl with the roses on her stomach? Brian?
American Beauty.
American Beauty. Shit. Rose Belly movie.
The movie about a paper bag that dances around for 20 minutes.
Right. There's that. He's recently in 1917. He did 2 years ago, or a year ago, whatever it was, 2019. You know him from lots of really awesome movies. Anyway, Road to Perdition is I think my favorite of his, and it's for lots of reasons. Tom Hanks is in it. The voice you guys were confused about is Paul Newman, and it was his last live-action screen presence in film. He did a TV thing in between this and his death, and also was a voice on Cars before he died in 2008. But his last sort of live-action thing, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He's very good in it. Really liked it. Anyway, Tom Hanks, Paul Newman, Jude Law, Jennifer Jason Leigh's in this, although not very long. Stanley Tucci's in it, and Daniel Craig, before you knew he was going to be James Bond.
Really?
What a dick.
Oh, wow.
He's such a dick in this. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, if you've never seen Road to Perdition, you are dumb. You should watch this movie. It's so good. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's set in the 20s. It deals with some pretty hard family mobster stuff, the Irish mob and all this. And it's just...
Where's it streaming?
Prime. Amazon Prime. And I just can't say enough about Road to Perdition. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So that's my first one.
Speaking of Prime, Coming to America is coming to Prime in 2 days.
Yeah, Coming
The
to
sequel.
America 2.
Coming to
What? I was like,
America.
Yeah.
2.
Can we talk
when did
about
that happen?
Is that yeah. Is there ever been another movie where the sequel had the exact same pronunciation as the original?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think so.
So it's like
It's
you gotta say
confusing.
coming. Oh, have
Number
you seen Coming to
2.
America? Yeah, I've seen Coming to America. No, I mean Coming to America. No,
Coming
to America.
Yeah.
Coming number 2 America.
Right, Coming number 2 America. so much love to that title, actually.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I love those movies. I love the Coming to America movie. It represents
I
a
can't
huge
wait.
part of my younger years, and the fact that they're actually doing a sequel is insane. I love it. And there's everyone's
seen
coming
the
back for
trailer?
it. They're all coming back. It's got James Earl Jones is still in there, and he's in his 90s.
Sexual Chocolate is coming back.
Can't
Yep.
believe they pulled. Is Eric LaSalle coming back?
Is he the dude that
Soul
owns
Glow?
McDowell's? Oh no, that's the other guy.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Eric LaSalle from ER.
The McDowell's guy's back.
The McDowell's guy's back. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love him. It's just I cannot believe I'm looking forward to this as much as I am, but I am.
I know.
It'll be dumb and great.
And how did they get Arsenio Hall? How did they pull Arsenio Hall away from all of his current obligations?
Well, he's been in cryogenic freeze, so you got to pull him out and get him out again. I'm like legit looking forward to it.
Sorry,
I hope it's not bad.
it was just so unexpected. I'm like, when did they film this? When did this happen? It was like, poof, it's here.
Yep. Yeah, it felt like it came out
Well,
of
that
nowhere.
fictional country doesn't have any COVID restrictions going on right now, so they were able to film without masks
Yep.
or social distancing or anything.
No COVID-19 in the kingdom of whatever it was called.
Wakanda or whatever it is.
No, it's not Wakanda.
I know it's not Wakanda.
Hey, Brian,
They
it's
even
not
have
Wakanda.
They have a part in there too.
Yeah, just so you know, it's definitely not Wakanda. All right, check this out. This is the other thing I watched. This is a real short recommendation. It's a documentary on Netflix, an original there. And it's not my highest recommendation for a documentary, but I still think people should see it because I used to be fascinated with this story. So anyway, here it is.
D.B. Cooper. Don't know his identity. Don't know where he came from. Don't know what happened to him. It's just one more mystery after another.
I remember my father telling me this story. Don't you remember he hijacked that airplane?
He ended up being my roommate, and he talked an awful lot about hijacking.
Okay, so it's the story. It's a documentary about D.B. Cooper. It's called The Mystery of D.B. Cooper. It's all about that dude that in the 70s hijacked a plane and got all the money that he demanded and then parachuted out over
disappeared,
the
right?
U.S. West and disappeared. And they've never been able to solve it. And this documentary doesn't solve it. So don't go in thinking you're going to get a resolution ultimately. But what you will get is like 4 or 5 suspects that you've never heard of before that all legitimately could be this guy. But somehow it can't be all of them because they live simultaneously in different lives. And there's no way that they're all the same person. But there's one that basically hit out. Oh, I can't remember some of the details, but basically they're just all different walks of life, different things. And they all, one guy on his deathbed's like, I was D.B. Cooper. He told his wife, and you need to find my buried money. And then he died and she never found out where the buried money was. But it's just as likely the other guy that we learned about in this documentary was D.B. Cooper. And so it's like this bigger mystery. There's some connective tissue to me growing up because the one of the people that everyone, in fact, the people most people think is D.B. Cooper is a dude that grew up and lived in Provo and was arrested. I don't know. I can't remember how he died, but he's a local. So, around here, there's a lot of rumors about D.B. Cooper being a dude from Utah. So growing up, it was like a big discussion thing. And to watch it was kind of fun just to sort of revisit all that. So if that sounds interesting to you, go check it out. It's a little bit like, I don't like documentaries that use a lot of fake footage of a thing that happened. I don't like,
dramatizations.
Yeah, reenactments.
Yes.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite trope in a documentary. This uses that a little too much, but it's okay. And I think a decent time if you're interested in that subject matter. It is on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, so go check that out if that sounds like something you'd want. Nicole, what did you bring today?
Yeah.
Scared her.
Nothing really good. But it's what I watched.
All right.
Okay, so that's what I have. I will say, I'm sure you've already talked about WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
we have.
Yes.
Lots.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every Monday.
Even
before Scout watched it.
I was very purposeful in waiting till there was enough out that I could kind of binge watch it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So Mark and I started, what's today? Wednesday? We started watching it probably like 3 days ago, and we've been watching 2 a night. So we have 2 more and then we're caught up. And
That's
then
perfect.
Tomorrow is the next episode.
That's
so
exactly,
we timed it perfect.
you know what? I'm going to say you guys did exactly a good thing. Like there's,
yeah,
I'm
it's
at the
very
point,
brave of you.
Yeah. I mean, trying to avoid spoilers and stuff can be tricky, but that thing is better bingeable than it is separated.
Yeah. At least
well, as soon as I would scan, I would see like WandaVision. I'm like, shoot. So I just kind of have this ability to like fuzzy out and with my eyes, like stuff. Like I just kind of skim it. I don't even read it.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad we did it this way.
It's also a hard thing to spoil, honestly, because the way they tell that story is you if they spoil one part of it from season or from episode 4 or 5, you're not going to get it because
there's a song I could sing that would spoil everything.
But for a lot of people, it won't because they don't know who the hell that is.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
it's It's such a weird show, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I've seen people go, "Oh my god, I hate the show," and others are like, "Ah." So
I haven't talked to anyone who hates it. Is that really?
I like Twin Peaks.
I guess everyone hates something. But
Twin Peaks is weird, and you gotta change it up and how you.
Yeah, it's like MCU Twin Peaks is a good way of looking at it. Actually, there's a bit of that going on.
It kind of is.
I can't wait for more. I guess it is this Friday,
so
right?
Here's
boring.
Yeah.
Lame. Anyway.
All right. There's my clip.
All right.
Okay, oops. Oh, darn it! I saw it, but I think I would have.
It's okay. It's not. It's all right.
All right. Here goes.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. We'll take it for what it is. It's loading. Here we go.
Picture name tag. There you go. Yeah. You look good.
What's up with the
figured out who you are.
Your video's quiet. That's all the way up.
Who am I?
You're one of those millennials that thinks they can get whatever they want, whenever they want.
Hey, it's
without
Michael
working
Pena.
for it, preferably with free shipping.
Who doesn't like free shipping?
So that's Michael Pena and Chloe Moretz Mortiz, or whatever the hell her name is.
Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
So is this that? I'll go fix the volume in post, but that's the Tom and Jerry business, right?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. It's the new Tom and Jerry movie that we watched with kids. The kids loved it.
Sure.
I did not.
I love old Tom and Jerry cartoons. You're telling me this doesn't hold up to all those? Is that what you're saying?
It's like the Space Jam of our this generation.
But I like
feel
Space Jam. Space Jam is cool.
But it's like that. It's like that. Real live action with cartoons.
Smurfs.
Yeah.
is better. Yeah, Brian's right. Smurfs is a better comparison.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's the question. Is there enough adult humor, or not necessarily adult humor in the way we're thinking adult humor, but enough humor that goes over the kids' heads that's like aimed towards the adults getting it?
I only caught like one thing.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
It might just be I just was kind of over the movie by then. I don't know.
Did you see the Sonic movie?
I mean,
Did you like
I will
it?
say the kids watched it and turned on, and Ava's been watching Tom and Jerry cartoons now, which I think that's the whole purpose of the movie, is to introduce a new generation to Tom and Jerry.
Sure.
Which, by the way, there's this knockoff Tom and Jerry cartoon on Amazon Prime called Cat and Keat. I hate this cartoon.
Cat and Keat, like short for parakeet?
It's like I think it's like a Russian cartoon, or it's just it's another country's take on Tom and
Cat.
It is awful, and I'm like, this is just a knockoff of Tom and Jerry, and Ava's like, I like it. I'm like, oh god,
yeah,
and it's just awful.
Well,
and
hold on. So did you see you saw the Sonic movie last year or whatever it was?
I did like that. We watched that.
Sometimes you can do the live action with an animated character and things are okay, but I don't know why they
enjoyed Sonic.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just be brave and make a straight up Tom and Jerry animated film. Like, just go for it. Don't have to have real people in it. Don't have to have this
because right
weird...
now they'd have to tone down the violence, and you can't have Tom trying to smash Jerry with a wooden mallet.
I think you could.
But he does it in the movie.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
They do it in this movie.
He has a giant metal mallet, and he's trying to smush him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's the itchy and scratchy thing.
That's the other thing I was afraid of, is that they were going to say, yeah, we really can have Tom trying to be as violent. He doesn't want to kill Jerry. He just wants to catch Jerry.
Yeah.
So, no.
Okay, good.
He wants to.
Do they talk in the movie? That's a good question. Claire or Con Ja in the chat wants to know: do they talk? Are they voiced?
No, they do not talk.
Okay, good.
They make like a couple sounds, but they don't talk. It's all like Tom taking his tail and turning it into a curse of his name when Chloe, what's her face, asks what his name is.
No, what's her name, Nicole? What's her name?
Try it.
I don't know. Chloe, I don't really like her acting now.
I love her now.
I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't know why.
You don't like her in this, but do you like her in anything else? Like, you just don't like her?
I don't like her. I don't like her post Kick-Ass.
I like her.
Hey, Nicole, put down the pen.
Well, I did like her. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing the.
All right, we all do it. We all do it.
Yes, exactly.
What was the movie? The vampire one. But she was still young in that one.
Oh, well, Let the Right One In, or Let Me In, or whatever.
Let the Right One In. Yeah.
Well, there's the American.
There was two versions. There was like the Swedish version, and then there was the Americanized version of it.
She was in the American one.
Let the Right One Into IKEA was the Swedish version.
That was the one. H&M.
Or it was Let Me In, yeah.
Let Me In, yeah. I like Let Me In actually. But okay, I'm gonna look at her list of movies here real quick, and I'm gonna prove you wrong. Let's see. We got Chloe Moretz Mortez Gonzalez. Here she is. All right. She's in Shadow in the Cloud. Don't know what that is. Let's find something we know.
Oh, that's a new one. I've seen the trailers. Again, not interested.
Oh, really? That looks so cool.
How about Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising?
Here, wait, are you trying to which side are you on, Scott?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. How about 2014's Denzel Washington's The Equalizer? It was all right.
How about Big Mama's House 2?
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was yes, she was in that. How about 500 Days of Summer? That was all right.
Yeah, I didn't remember
She
her
was
in
in
that.
Yeah,
I didn't
she
remember.
was.
Patrick
If
loved
she
that
wasn't,
movie,
if
yeah.
she wasn't called Zoe Deschanel, I don't remember her.
I hate to say it, but you're kind of. I mean, it's mostly she's not in a ton of great movies, but there's something about her I just find intriguing. I don't know what it is. Seems interesting to me.
I liked her in Kick-Ass. I liked her in that vampire movie. After that, I mean, she's a person. I feel bad, but I'm not feeling her acting post those.
She was the girl in Hugo. She was in that Hugo business.
Oh yeah.
Again, kid.
Yeah.
Apparently, she was in My Name Is Earl too. I don't remember her in that.
Oh, I love My Name Is Earl. I'd watch that now.
I did not like her in this Tom and Jerry movie.
All right.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're just sort of like, if you have kids, maybe this is fun. If not, maybe.
Yes, if you have kids, it is one of those movies where it was supposed to release in theaters. They did the HBO release. I'm sure it's going to leave within, the month or something like that.
Sure.
So it's a new release.
This
Colin Jost is in it, which is weird.
Oh, yeah.
I like him on Saturday Night Live.
Mr. Johansson.
I'm not sure I like him as an. Yes.
Let me tell you where this works. That Bumblebee movie, the Transformers spinoff. That's one of those movies that should be. There's like
I haven't seen the Bumblebee one.
You should. It's the only good one.
That's the best. That is the best Transformers movie to see.
Oh, by far. It's actually good.
Somebody brought up Detective Pikachu. I loved Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, it's just proof you can pull it. You can do this stuff. Like you can pull it off. It just has to be the right freaking people to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Clorette's Monteith Bagunga is the right girl for this movie. Is what I'm saying. All right.
Well, she says, if I stay young, Nicole will like my acting.
Yes.
No,
that's not what she
I don't
means.
know what's going on with her. She feels very overacted. I guess it's Tom and Jerry, but whatever. But
though, you kind of misread that. She was in a movie called
Did I
Stay? Young Nicole will like my acting.
Oh.
Did I misread it? I was thinking, if I stay young, Nicole will like my acting.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Yes.
Well, if your name was Clorette's, you'd struggle too as you got older. All right, moving on. Do you? That's your recommendal then, or your?
I hear she has Retsin.
Yes,
for fresh breath.
For fresh breath. You've so this is kind of a side semi-recommendal, not the best.
I mean, if you're looking for something to watch with the kids, you don't want, you're not going to go to the movie theaters or whatever. Watch Tom and Jerry, I guess.
All right, that's what a resounding.
We got through it. Hey, the kids liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it too much.
That's all that matters. You know what? Watch Bumblebee, and I'll bet even the kids would like that. It's fantastic. It's
Detective
very, very
Pikachu.
good.
Sonic.
That too.
These are all good ones.
These are all good. Sonic was good. Sonic shouldn't have been good. That should have been garbage.
Yeah. Right?
How did they do that?
Yeah.
What is that about? I think it's because Junkie XL did the soundtrack, and that guy can do no wrong. Because as we know,
they fixed his teeth. That's why.
Well, that's the other thing. They fixed everything about that character. It was so bad before. Like I kind of now knowing that Sonic turned out okay, I kind of do want to see some original cut with that weird version of it. Just to see what was different, other than just the look of Sonic. Was the movie still okay? Or was it? Did a lot of other stuff change? Like I don't know, but anyway.
Someone brought up SpongeBob. Wasn't there a whole SpongeBob movie supposed to come? It was supposed to come out last year, but it never did because of COVID.
Yeah, the one with
Keanu Reeves
is the Sage
coming to. That one did come out, didn't it?
When?
This new thing you're talking about is something separate. It's a new direct to Paramount Plus animated thing. I was just looking.
Because I read because my kids were looking forward to it, and I looked it up, and it was like, oh, it's going to release overseas, and we don't know
on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming out tomorrow.
Look at that red on Airlight. Can you believe that? Did you see that
streaming?
Did you see that red on Airlight that we just saw fly by the thing?
You did say that. Okay.
Yeah, I did say that.
I was Googling to see when it comes out.
It's called Sponge on the Run, and I don't know why I'm interested in and why it looks good, but it looks good to me, weirdly. I don't know why. I don't even like new SpongeBob. There's something about it. So
they had a whole marketing plan in place last year, and in fact, I think it was maybe Wendy's. They were promoting it through the kids' meals. And so my kids were like, we want to watch this movie. I'm like, sorry, it's not out. But everything said it was supposed to be out like May 3rd or something like that. And I always wondered what happened to it. So I guess it just...
Your kids will probably love it. It looks great. So Keanu Reeves.
Just 10 months later, kids.
Gotta love that.
It's really weird. It feels like it feels like 1,000 years ago. Anyway, all right.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Nicole, fine recommendations today, or side recommendations.
Yeah.
Follow her on Twitter,
You guys have
Nicole
fun.
Spag, and she will tell you what we watched and why we watched it and how you can get it yourself. And we'll retweet it on the Morning Stream Twitter account as well. Nicole Spag, have a fantastic week.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye now. All right, Brian. Hold on. I have to remove her from the group. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't mean hang up on the call. That was weird.
There we go. Me and Nicole sitting there. Oh, I guess it's just us, Nicole. Well,
Yeah.
so how have you been?
Hit the wrong button. Happens sometimes. Okay. Where are we now? Oh, yeah. A couple emails. Then we're out of here.
Yes.
Like this one from Rob, who says, "Hey, Scott and Brian, since you mentioned this show on a recent TMS, I had to watch it." Oh, what movie? What's he talking about? Oh,
he's talking about How To with John Wilson.
You're right.
Oddly enough, we should have Nicole on for because
yeah, she loved. She
was
this.
responsible for both of us watching it. Actually,
It's so good. Anyway, says they are doing a second season, which I am thrilled
cool.
about. Yep. According to a Rolling Stone article, that is in the works, and that makes me very happy because, for whatever reason, one of my favorite things of this year was that.
We do know that he's got probably enough B-roll footage to do several seasons of How To with John Wilson.
I don't know how that guy does that. Even for just like a side comment that means nothing, he has B-roll for it. Like,
my guess is that and it's not even like it's tagged. It's like in teeny tiny writing in hundreds of little notebooks.
yeah, like he's a psycho.
He needs a computer tagging system. Oh my God.
You need to study him. It's scientific study of that man. He's insane.
Yeah, he is like a savant or something. Yeah, it's really good.
I love it. It's very good. I also got this email from Paul. Paul wrote in, says, "Brownies after death" is the subject line. He says, "Hey, Skyther and Beedrill? Beedrill? Is
Beedrill.
Beedrill.
These are Pokemans.
Pokemon.
That's what those are.
All right. That makes sense. I was listening to a past episode about what Scott said regarding being cremated and put into a batch of brownies. While this does seem like a good time, I wanted to let you know that there have been studies that show that consciousness does continue for some time after death. CBS did a report on this a while ago. While I'm personally an agnostic and unsure about the whole concept of the soul, one thing I'm sure about is the brain and consciousness. And if we can dream a little longer before it's all over, then sign me up. Moral of the story: bury, don't bake. Love the show, though, Paul.
Yeah, having my conscious while I'm shoved in a little box.
Yep.
That's going to be better.
Not
you're saying?
better. It's worse. It's worse. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Here's my guess. The study does show it, but it shows it like you would if you beheaded someone. Like, let's say you're in the French Revolution and someone cut your head off with a guillotine. Blunk into the basket. For a little bit of time, you're still sort of, and then you're out. It's not like it's going to go on forever where I'm going to know I'm in some brownie going into the mouth of some old guy at an old folks home. It's not going to go that long.
No.
Nothing goes that long. So, yeah.
And the baking, the cremation probably will do it before it's being ingested by old people in the form of brownies.
Right. And by then, I'm not getting shoved in there 5 minutes after I die. It's gonna be a little time. I'm gonna be on.
You get another baking once you're in the brownies.
Right.
So it's like,
right. And
you're like twice baked Scott.
I'm gonna be on ice for a huge amount of time before they even decide to cook me. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, the people at the old folks home should definitely worry, but I'm not worried.
That's right.
Thanks for the emails.
TMS Mashup asks if we have time to play the mashup today. I think tomorrow because we're already really close to.
Oh, I didn't know we had a bonus today. Do we have one today? Oh, we do.
have a bonus.
Oh crap! I didn't see all these. There's a ton.
Yes.
We got. Oh no, there isn't. There's none. Hold on.
Should just be. There's a ton. Oh no, there isn't. There's none.
Oh, I take it back. There is one. There's a ton. There's none. There's one. It's called the Wiener Special, and I didn't know this was up. So yes, tomorrow is the day we'll put it in. I didn't know we had a Wiener Special.
Yeah,
But we'll
cut Wendy off mid advice and play it tomorrow.
Right. It's like, sorry, Wendy, move over. We got a wiener special.
Here's your homework for next time. Click.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we lost Wendy. Let's get to the
it's too
mashup.
bad. Better play the wiener special. Anyway, so that'll be tomorrow. Thanks for the heads up there, TMS Mashups. He probably emailed me, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. So
He did. I know what well, I guess now you know what it's about, too.
Yep, there you have it. Okay, that's going to do it for the show. Big thanks, everybody, for being here. frogpants.com/TMS. And also, those emails came to us at themorningstream@gmail.com. You're encouraged to do that anytime you feel like it. That's themorningstream@gmail.com. We're done. We're out. Let's leave. But before we do, a song selection from Brian's vast library.
A songerino. Absolutely. This is fun. A Theater Monkey writes in and says, Brian was talking about the first CD he bought, and I remember that Bachbusters, yes, Bachbusters, was my first. Bought it for $16 when I was 15 years old. I would play it on my Magnavox D880 for days on repeat. Just about drove all of my parents insane. All of my parents insane. The second CD was from The Art of Noise. So yeah, I was into eclectic electronic music in my youth. Signed, Theater Monkey. He wanted to hear a track from Don Dorsey's Bachbusters. This is something that I never knew existed. And all the setup that you need to know about this album is the fact that the cover has a picture of a guy dressed up as Johann Sebastian Bach holding a guitar.
Oh, fantastic. That's great.
This music, I could see why this would be, great to play on a CD player. This music sounds like the music you play during an 80s montage as the hacker kid is figuring out how to break into his school's grading system to change his grade.
Awesome. I think Theater Monkey may be me. I loved this stuff when I was.
You'll love this then. Absolutely. Yeah. From Don Dorsey's Bachbusters from 1985. Here's Italian Concerto for solo keyboard in F.
All right. Sounds good to me. We'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday edition of the show and much more. So come on back then. And that's it. We'll see you then. Bye. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Snap out of it, Alan.
Yeah, get out of there. What do you
Alan.
Alan.
Yeah. Alan. There's that album cover with the dude dressed up as Johann Sebastian